We are recapping the Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's right, season 17, episode 6. Let me tell you, these ladies, we've always known that the Atlanta Housewives can bring the shade, but they are taking it to a whole new level this season. But before we get into it, you know what to do. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because here we break the dish. We are recapping the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 17, episode 6. We're picking it up day 2. It's the morning of day 2 of Cynthia's trip to Texas. We're at the breakfast table. Drew wastes no time giving her opinion to Pinky, saying, girl, man, your energy last night was a lot. A lot. Shamea's complaining that she didn't get a lot of rest because she had to share a bed with Kelli, because if you recall, their bedrooms were dirty. I question that, to be honest. Pinky says to Shamea, she kind of mentions about Drew's movie. And she's like, have you seen it? She's like, no, but I look forward to it. And I kind of think Drew gives a little side eye and a little, And Shamea says, look, I have apologized to you. You chose not to accept it. I'm starting to think you just want a problem. And then in Drew's confessional, she says, her apology was BS. Just like the bob she came walking in with. You go, Drew. So today, Cynthia has decided to split the group up into 2 groups. Now, one group, her group, is going cattle herding, which we'll get into, and the other group is going horseback riding. Now, Cynthia wants to make sure that in her group is Shamea and Kelli, because she wants to make sure that this whole dirty bed situation is literally put to bed. Okay. Meanwhile, you have Portia, K. Michelle, Angela, and Phaedra in the other group. They are in their Sprinter van heading to go horseback riding. And Portia's actually talking about the night before, and she's saying, Pinky's energy, it was just way too much. And K. Michelle says, yeah, I think Pinky, she can have a lot of passion, but it can come off like aggression. But, she does mean well. And Angela's confessional, she says, Pinky talks way too much. And by the way, there is a wife in the basement. Why does she keep saying this? I need to know. Seriously. So Phaedra is explaining that, yes, they're going horseback riding, but the style of horseback riding is called dressage. She used to compete doing this in college. Meanwhile, in Cynthia's bus, let's just put it this way, it ain't going so well. She's trying to get this room situation literally kabushed, you know what I mean? And she's saying to Shamea and Kelli, look, Pinky came upstairs last night dragging me when, I'm doing the best that I can do. And Cynthia actually starts questioning these two. Do you want to sabotage my trip? Which, let's be real, I don't think it really had anything to do with the room being dirty. How dirty could it be? Even after they clean it, by the way, this is skipping ahead, but even after they clean it, these two are on the bed with their shoes, their clothes, bouncing around on it and everything. Give me a break. It was only because they felt as though they should be in the main house. Neither one of them liked Portia or Phaedra. And so they felt as though Frick and Frack should be in the pool house. And they deserve to be in the main house. That's all it comes down to. Come on, give me a break. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, the other band with Portia and that whole crew, I mean, they're dancing and singing and laughing. I mean, they're having a grand old time to this horseback riding. Meanwhile, Cynthia's group, I mean, it's just not going very well. Drew's talking about Black, how she's friends with them, and she says, yeah, I just love him. Cynthia goes, whoa, did she just say love? Ralph's going to have to get out of that basement. K. Michelle in her van is talking about Black as well, saying how, basically he's sliding into her DMs, and Angela, she can be messy when she wants to be, and nosy, says maybe that's a conversation you need to have with Drew. K. Michelle says, I don't need to talk to Drew about a man that I don't want. So Cynthia's group now arrives at their cattle herding. Now, let me explain Cynthia's version of cattle herding. Ready? You see the cattle, you hear it, you watch it walk by. That's cattle herding. I'm not joking. These women were like, what? We were in this van for how long? And this is what you call cattle herding? So they wind up like taking a whole bunch of pictures with a bull and then wind up going to a restaurant to eat lunch. Meanwhile, the other crew is there to horseback ride. Okay. Now the guide is explaining what dressage is. And while she's explaining it, the horse kicks up, runs all the housewives in different directions. And then when they finally gather their composure, get back to the horse, the guide is like, so who wants to ride? And in Angela's confessional, she says, lady, that horse just tried to kill us, and now you want us to ride him? Well, let's be real. Nobody in this group was going to ride a horse. I don't even know why they bothered going, to be quite honest. Because they all wear wigs. And if you ever worn a wig before, you know. You're not riding a horse with a wig on. Hello? Even Phaedra said that in her confessional. Meanwhile, the one group is at lunch in a restaurant. Portia's group over here, since they didn't go horseback riding, they're having an Italian wine tasting in the middle of the paddock. Like, no, I'm not joking. Like, in the middle of the paddock. So the sommelier is explaining how for your wine, you're supposed to look at the color and smell the wine. And Angela goes, I think I can smell more than just wine. Even K. Michelle says, yeah, it's a little weird. It's like having dinner in a bathroom. But then in her confessional, she says, maybe there is something that I can build on with these ladies, friendship-wise, because she's really having a good time with them. Cynthia's crew over here, though, not going so well. So Cynthia starts talking to Pinky about how, she started that conversation and the argument with Angela last night. And I don't know what Pinky's problem is. Like, I really don't. But Pinky turns around and says, yeah, I shouldn't have started that argument with Angela when she's not in my tax bracket. Well, of course, all the ladies were like, no, don't say that. That's wrong. Then Pinky says to Kelli, Portia last night was double downing on the fact that you slept with a married man. What is wrong with you, Pinky? Like, seriously, you're new to the group. Like, slow your roll, girl. You are in everybody's business. And Cynthia jumps on that, too. She says, your conversations, it makes people feel uncomfortable. No matter what your intention is, and it goes left, your conversation goes left. You don't have a backstory with what you're talking about. And she says, you start a conversation, you go running with it. She's like, and let me tell you, you're getting back what you put out there, which is kind of true, you know? So everybody gets back to the house, and I think everybody's resting before they go to dinner that night. Drew goes knocking on Cynthia's door. Cynthia was taking a nap. Now, learn to read a room, Drew. Like when somebody wakes up, opens the door, their hair's everywhere, they're like half dressed, they're like, oh, yeah. Obviously, she was sleeping. Drew's like, were you sleeping? And then Drew sits down and she says, you're doing a fabulous job with this trip, Cynthia. Listen, Drew's just kissing Cynthia's ass because, let's be real, nobody in the group really talks to Drew. I mean, seriously. But, Cynthia takes it on the chin. She says, thank you. And she's like, I just wanted that room situation to be over with. And she says, but I feel like it's deeper than just the room. Like something's going on. Now, I agree with Cynthia, even though I don't think it's that deep. I think it's because these two just didn't want to be in the pool house. But Drew says, well, you can never tell with Shamea because if it is deeper than the room, she's never going to admit it. Instead, she just twerks and does her shot o'clock, which she does. Then Kelli decides to visit Pinky at the tiny house, because remember, Pinky's there all by herself. And she comes in and she says, I just wanted to check on you. Pinky says, look, I don't have energy for BS, And Kelli says, look, with this group of women, like some women just don't have a lot going on. And then there's other women like you and I who have our own businesses, and it just lands differently with us. And Pinky says, look, I built my business with my back, not on my back. What? She has it out for Angela. I mean, where is this coming from? Like, are we missing something here? So Cynthia explains that she's taking the ladies to a very nice dinner at this restaurant called Paradiso, hopefully to make up for the first night's dinner. Shamea gets onto the Sprinter van and decides to announce, the room is clean. Cynthia goes, thank God, I was starting to think that room was possessed. So on the way there, Cynthia decides to open the floor to the ladies. If you made a connection with another lady or, found out something about someone that surprised you, speak up. So K. Michelle says, I learned that Phaedra is nuts. Then in her confessional, she goes, I also learned that Phaedra is a white lady household name because when they were in the airport, like all these white women kept coming up to Phaedra, giving her hugs. Shamea then says to K. Michelle that she appreciated her opening up about her struggles with groups of girls that she's been associated with in the past in Atlanta. We know where that's coming from. Then Kelli, out of the blue, is like, I would like to thank everybody for supporting me at my grand opening. I know everybody made it there, well, except for one person, but we know who that is. So that little fire up Portia's butt. So Portia's like, look, I sent you flowers. You turned around and told me you don't take broken flowers from a broken person, when really you just didn't like what I had to say in front of K. Michelle, which if you didn't like what I had to say, you should have then came to me and discussed it with me instead of going around to everybody else talking about it. And Kelli's like, you're talking about me sleeping with a married man. You're the one that sleeps with married men. Portia's like, who? Who have I slept with that's a married man? Kelli goes, R. Kelly. What? So she got that from Portia's book, I believe. However, Portia's like, R. Kelly, he wasn't married when I was with him. Meanwhile, in Pinky's confessional, she's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Did she just say R. Kelly? Like, I'm going to fly R. Kelly? Like, it's kind of funny. But Portia's like double downing on this. I mean, double downing on it. And she's explaining to the group that not only did Kelly sleep with this married man, but then after she confronted her about it in front of K. Michelle, then Kelly called the married man and was like, how did Portia find out that we were together, basically? And the producer asked Portia, like, what kind of man texts after they sleep with someone, And Portia says, well, that man was acting like a boy. But Kelly, she was acting like a slut. Yep, she went there. And so, these two are now like going at it big time. And meanwhile, Kelly's like, tell me who it is then. Tell me who I slept with. Come on, bring it out, bring it out. And right away, Phaedra's like, no, do not say this man's name. She goes, yes, you will be outing this man out, but the only one that you're going to be hurting is his wife. And I know this family. So Portia respects Phaedra, so she doesn't say who it is. And now that's probably why we know she won't say who it is. But then Portia starts exclaiming that Kelly tried to scissor her. Kelly's like, what? I tried to scissor you? I wouldn't touch your Frito cheese. And that's where the episode ended. I'm not kidding. So what did you guys think? Listen, I love the shade with these ladies. I really do. I mean, there's so much shade sometimes flying around. I could watch it 10 times and still pick up on new shade. You know what I'm saying? If you were going to rate the episode, what would you rate it? I would rate it, this episode, a good 7.5. I mean, there were times that were really funny. There were times that were really shady. You know what I mean? Like, but let's discuss something. What is up with Pinky? I mean, seriously. This new chick, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Pinky, she's going around telling everybody that Phaedra is saying that she eats meat. That wasn't true. Then, I mean, she picks this fight with Angela the first night in Texas, like out of the blue. Didn't see that coming at all. I don't think Angela did either. She's double downing on the fact with Kelly, reminding Kelly about how Portia's going around telling everybody that she slept with a married man. She's making shady comments like, yeah, I built my business with my back, not on my back. What is up with you? Like, girl, you are new. Slow your roll a little bit. Like, let us get to know you first. Like, seriously. She is just going for it. And I don't know where it's coming from, to be honest. Like, I feel like we're missing something here. You know what I mean? Like a piece of that puzzle. Yeah. The puzzle's name's Pinky. Puzzling Pinky. There you go. Puzzling Pinky. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think of Pinky? I mean, don't get me wrong. I think she's a beautiful woman. She's a great addition, but Puzzling Pinky. But I love to hear your comments. Keep the conversation going down below in the comments. And before you do, You know what to do. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because here we break the dish.